Hey folks, welcome to Guitar Daily. It's Nick Granville coming to you from Wellington, New Zealand. So today I thought I'd talk about turnarounds in terms of the blues. This is this week-long deep dive into the blues I've been doing. So I thought today turnarounds would be the one. So there's a couple that I use like pretty regularly. And then there's variations of them. I'm going to do them in the key of E, just because it means I can play the low E on the bottom so you can hear it in relation to that. But, you know, learn to transpose these into all keys. The first one, now you'll have heard this before, it's a classic. And then some kind of way to get to the B7, I usually go. Right, and we're back into the tune. So that's what turnaround is. It's that little bit at the end of the 12 bars, or whatever form you're on, but 12 bar generally. And then when we start playing again. I'll play it to you again. Right, that's a classic that's used all the time. And there are a bunch of variations on it. One variation that I use a lot is this as well. However you want to get back to the E chord to get you there. There's a cool Tom Bukovac one that I use a lot that I got from a video I saw of him recently. Just kind of similar. It's related to the first one I did. But it's now with the flat 7 on the bottom. So we have a D, B, G sharp. So that's the flat 7 of the key. Right, whatever you want to do after that, but super cool. So thanks Uncle Larry for that one. The man. Next one up we're going to do, this is one that I use quite a little bit to get me from the 1 chord to the 5 chord in the same kind of way. So we go from an E7 chord, and this is more like a kind of a chord structure thing. So we have an E7, and then I go E7 with E with a G sharp in the bass, so the 3rd in the bass. Right, and then I go A7, and then I go B flat diminished to get me to the B7. So on, so on, the rest of the song. I'll play it again. So there I played an A6-9 instead of playing an A7. You can play whatever you want. It could be... Right, or it could be... Any kind of way you want to voice it, that's kind of a cool one, right? So that's one that I use quite a bit. Here's another one that I use quite a bit, which I call a descending line. So we start from E. It's quite cool. So we're going E, D, C sharp, C to B. Into the blues again. Right, so that's a cool one. You can actually voice that with chords, which actually works quite well. If I was going to do that, I might go E7, then I'll go E7 with a D on the bottom, and then A7, but I'm thinking C sharp minor 7 flat 5, and then C7. So we have... I'll go through that again slowly. E7, E7 over D. Alright, so in terms of frets, it's 5, 6, 4, 5. And then C sharp minor 7 flat 5 over A. So we're thinking 4, 5, 4, 5 in terms of frets. And then just a standard C7 to B. Of course, we can do that same thing up an octave. any kind of variation like that. One thing I find a lot of people do when they get to the turnaround, that's the spot they tend to rush the beat. It's one spot I'm very aware of, kind of just staying right in the pocket. Those are just a couple that I use all the time. There's lots of them. Those are just the ones that I tend to like and tend to gravitate towards. I kind of collect these things, right? The little ideas like that, and I'll kind of go, okay, that's a cool little turnaround or whatever. And then when I improvise and I'm playing music, I have all these things that I can pull out and kind of help the music to develop. The other thing too is if you learn a bunch of different turnarounds and a bunch of intros and a bunch of outros and all that sort of stuff, when you're on the bandstand and say the bass player plays a certain turnaround, you're aware of what the possibilities are so you can support it. If you're not aware of the possibilities, then you're kind of going blindly and hoping for the best. So I like to learn stuff like this, like learn a bunch of turnarounds and kind of make them part of my playing. Hope this has been useful. If it has, please subscribe. Please like, because that helps also. Drop me a comment below. Let me know what you think. Like I said, this week's going to be the deep dive in the blues. I've done one on soloing already, in terms of what scales I use when I think scales. I've done one on chords. Interestingly, the chords rhythm guitar chords one didn't do as well as the soloing one, to be expected. Today we did turnarounds. I've got one I'm going to do on funky blues, one on Robin Ford's type playing, minor blues. And then the other styles of blues all in there. And then at the end of the week, I'm going to do a wrap up in the live stream where I'll kind of go into depth a bit more for an hour. My usual Sunday live stream. So yeah, hope you dig. Thanks very much. Cheers.